What do you want to watch next week?
Um, let's see. When will that episode come out?
This would come
So
out the 24th.
okay, so the next one will come out on Halloween. So we got to do like a good one. Um, hmm. You got any in mind?
Uh, good scary movie.
Yeah,
You want it to be a thinker or just some dumb slasher type shit?
let's do a thinker.
I don't- I mean, isn't
Or do you
this
want
what
to do like?
Sleepy Hollow is?
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, fuck it. Let's just do dumb slasher shit.
Let's do your next.
Okay. Let's see
Have you
what the
seen
hell that
that?
is. No, I don't think I've heard of it.
I think I got a copy of it on a hard drive already. If not, I can just get one. But it's
Came out in 11.
yeah, it's
Okay.
literally it's really dumb. But it's
Hey everybody, welcome to Out the Trunk with Jordan and Darius. This is our movie review segment. My name is Jordan. You can find me on all socials at Jordy B Writing.
and I'm Darius. That's D's all up in the area on all socials.
And today we're going to be reviewing Sleepy Hollow. This movie came out in 1999. It stars Johnny Depp, Christina Ricci, Miranda Richardson, Michael Gambon, Casper Van Dien, and Christopher Walken. Sleepy Hollow takes place in 1799 when New York Constable Ichabod Crane, an eccentric investigator, is sent to the secluded village of Sleepy Hollow to probe a series of brutal decapitation murders. The terrified localist insists the killer is the legendary Headless Horseman, forcing the skeptical Crane to confront a terrifying supernatural reality to solve the mystery. So I'm gonna toss it to you for your intro.
Act one, we're gonna call the assignment. Skeptical New York constable Ichabod Crane is dispatched to Sleepy Hollow to investigate a series of brutal decapitation murders attributed to a legendary headless horseman. He meets the townspeople, including the mysterious Katrina. Off the rip, Johnny Depp has aged terribly. I couldn't even recognize him.
Yo, he has, and it's crazy because he aged great at one point, and then it just like fell off. It's like I don't know what happened.
I don't know if he stopped paying the surgeon or what, but
Yeah,
he looked I did not know it was him until I had to I
he
was doing the
almost
rundown.
looks like a different ethnicity
Yeah, it just
now.
he looks like a different you could not tell me side by side that that was one person 25 years ago. And don't get me
Yeah,
wrong, I'm one of those people who believe people age, that's fine.
it's okay. Yeah,
Woo. Um man. Good CGI for 1999 though. What you got for Act 1?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say when we talk about like great director and actor collaborations or duos, I feel like people sleep on the Johnny Depp and Tim Burton filmography there. So I
What
want to
else
give
have
them
they
their
done
respect.
together?
They've pretty much anything like cool and creepy that Johnny Depp's ever been in. Tim Burton probably directed it. What they do? It says Edward Scissorhands. I'm sure you've seen that one. What's what's it called? It's the animated one. With the Bride Corpse. What's the Corpse Bride? I think.
We got Dark Shadows, Sweeney Todd,
Yeah,
Corpse Bride,
Sweeney
Edward
Todd is dope.
Scissorhand, the subject of the podcast movie, Ed Wood, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Alice in the Wonderland. I think this is a biography, and Alice in the Wonderland again. I have not seen any of those, except for the
Really?
movie that we're reviewing today.
That's
They're
crazy.
all cartoons, you know. The audience
No, I
knows I'm
mean,
not
I
big
think
on.
only one is not live action. They're all the other ones are all live action.
Well, add it to the list.
Um, but yeah, Sweeney Todd is fucking fire. It's based on the play, so it's like a musical movie. It's actually really dope. I don't know if you into that or not, but it's a cool movie. So yes, I love them together as a duo. Also, I love when you take kind of old stories or like fairy tales and you kind of flip them on their head. And I think this movie was I like that's what I love most about this movie is the way it kind of takes a children's ghost story and turns it into a really cool whodunit.
It is it is straight up a whodunit. Do you think it's friendly to a first time viewer?
Hmm. So do you mean like in terms of tone or the way the story is told?
The way the story's told,
Hmm.
um, like I'm not someone who demands like a lot of exposition,
Yeah.
um, but you're just kind of dropped into the world,
Yeah.
but
And crazy shit happens.
and crazy shit happens, but
Yeah.
it's just I just don't feel like it was set well. Like, is the world because like Johnny Depp's character, and one of my questions is, did you share his skepticism of the supernatural? But I'm not supposed to. It's like I don't understand if I'm supposed to understand this world as supernatural, or if or if these people are
Oh,
crazy, or if he's not. I don't understand if his
got you.
skepticism is
Okay.
well founded, for lack of a
Okay.
better way to phrase it.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Okay, yeah. Um, I think so because I think this movie was made to be rewatched.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think this movie, like the first time I saw, like I first time I saw it, I think it was maybe like 19 or 20. And when I got to the end, like my head was blown. No pun intended, you know. And then, and then it was on like TBS or TNT, and it was like Halloween season, so like they re-aired it right away, and I was like, okay, cool, because I was like, okay, I need to figure out what the fuck I missed for the first hour and a half of the movie, you know. So yeah, I'd say it's not friendly for first time viewers, but it's not meant to be because I think it's supposed to be rewatched.
You can tell it's of an era where people just went to the movies and saw shit all the time.
Yeah.
Because or
Yes.
you got the DVD and you just watched it over and over and over again.
Hmm.
It's very much of the era because they, it's hard on the. I watched it twice.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what happened the first
Right.
time I watched it, and I rarely watch the movies twice. So,
Yeah, I get you.
um,
I think
yeah,
I think the
sorry.
thing is that makes it a little hard to follow is there's a lot of characters that play big roles, but because you weren't familiar with them at first, you're like, wait, okay, who did what and what role did they play in the conspiracy? And you know, so I think, at least from my perspective, when I first watched it, or if I haven't watched it in a while, and I'm like, wait, hold up, what happened? That was always what threw me for a loop.
Well, so like Game of Thrones is similar, where there's just a lot of characters and a lot of
Hmm.
backwritten stories, but a good writer sort of creates an event to where
Yes,
it's not
they're all tied
exposition,
together.
but they're like there's a reason why. Like, so the first episode of Game of Thrones, you're meeting all these people, but
Hmm.
Robert Baratheon's Hand of the King died, so he's
Right.
traveling north to
Hmm.
give the job to Eddard Stark, and so
Hmm.
that gives you a reason to go Sansa Stark, Lady of Winterfell.
Yes.
This
Got you.
is,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Tyrion
yeah,
Lannister. Oh, you're the
yeah.
midget. Let's talk. Oh, your dad hates you, and it just
Yeah.
in a way that feels very natural, where like the events are explained to the viewer in a way
Hmm.
that doesn't feel like the fourth wall is breaking.
Got you.
And so I just feel like this movie needed a little of that. Like, you need to create
Okay.
something that gives the characters a reason to explain things in a way
Got
that's
you.
good
I
writing. So
agree. I agree. Yeah, that's a good point. I'd say so too. Because I think there's two or three major scenes where there is a lot of exposition, and I think everything else is more implied.
yeah.
And I think that's what makes it a little hard for a first time viewer, especially if you're not used to watching these kinds of movies.
It's like a video game that you just kind
Hmm.
of like. It's like a save file that wasn't yours, and you just
Yeah.
you just
So you
unpaused
just
it and started
yeah.
slashing shit.
Yeah,
You're
it's like if we like traded PS5s for a week. I'd be
yeah,
like, wait, what level am I on right now?
you're just like, oh, I got the buttons. I know I've played a PS5 before, so I know that square does something. I know how
Right.
to slash, but I have no idea what's. I'm just slashing things. So
Yeah, it's like when you play Tekken the first time, you just press X over and over again.
yeah, it's like
Uh,
you know what, you have enough muscle memory from watching these kind of movies to kind of set a scene for yourself, but you're
correct.
doing it by yourself.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true.
What else do you have for Act One?
Yeah, I think one thing too is that because Ichabod is not from this world and he is a foreigner, and you sing everything from his POV,
Yeah,
and before a lot of the movie, he is confused and lost.
yeah,
And I think that's kind of a part of we're supposed to be on the journey with him, and I think that's part of why the story was told that way
yeah. I
as
wouldn't
well.
call it bad. It's just
Yeah,
I would have went a different way about it. But no, I wasn't. I mean,
yeah.
this wasn't a bad.
Okay, yeah,
Was
because I was going to
this
actually ask you about that in one of the later segments. Yeah,
was this Johnny Depp's? Was this earlier? I mean, obviously it's earlier than now. But was he
yeah.
a certified ticket at this point?
Um,
Because this is
it's
a
hard to say because
meaty
I wasn't.
role.
Yeah,
It's just him.
yeah. It's really just him. It's just him the whole movie. Like,
Which is a lot
it's
to
hard to
give a
say.
young actor.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say this is one of the first few because I mean,
We
this was
have the
after
internet.
it's. Yeah, this is after What's Eating Gilbert Grape. But this is like right before a few years before Pirates of the Caribbean. Let me see.
This is great radio. Uh,
remember he got his big break doing TV when he was in 21 Jump Street in like the late 80s, early 90s,
Yeah, I
but he
got you.
wasn't a movie star yet. So,
So they weren't going out all the way out on a limb wondering if he could carry it. Good. I mean,
right.
he acted the shit out of this. He was very,
Oh
very,
hell
very
yeah,
good
he
in the
fucking
movie.
bodied this. By the way, he's like one of the more, I feel to me at least, he's one of my favorite actors, and I feel like he's one of the more slept on actors too.
But that's
I
what
mean,
happens
I
when you
guess
go do stuff like Pirates, is people start not thinking you're an actor for
yeah,
real.
and even
Uh,
that, like, I don't think anyone else would even have thought to have played Jack Sparrow the way he played him.
Leo says,
One
"Man,
other
I
thing,
never put on a suit because you can't take it back. Not
yeah,
a superhero costume is
right, yeah,
anything, but
yeah.
not a
Um, I was gonna say yeah. So I also wanted to shout Johnny Depp out as well. Like I think casting him, who was at the time period like a Hollywood heartthrob type, as like a quirky, squeamish detective, I thought that was a really interesting turn. And for him to be able to pull that off is a testament to his acting ability. Um, Also, shout out Tim Burton because I love like the dark gothic tone of this movie. Like it's always cloudy. The set pieces are incredible. It really looks like an old village in the 1700s. It doesn't look like some set that they like just slapped a barn on.
it doesn't look like they're in LA with a green screen.
Right.
No, this was back. You could tell this was back when studios would actually like pay for mid level, like mid budget movies. It's not a mid movie,
Correct.
but mid budget movies. Um, Ready to get an act two?
Yeah.
Act two, we're gonna call the investigation. Crane's scientific methods clash with the town's belief in the supernatural as the horseman strikes repeatedly. He uncovers a conspiracy and must accept the ghostly reality to find the Hessian's grave and his missing head. I knew it was somebody they knew when the monster thing didn't kill Johnny Depp. He
Yeah.
had him
Hmm.
and he just like stabs the other guy's head and he
Yep.
looks at it and he rides off. I was like, all right, so this is clearly an inside job at that point. So
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I was gonna ask you. At what point did you realize there actually was a horseman and that it wasn't like Scooby Doo, where like it's a guy in a mask?
the end. I didn't really I thought it was yeah, I didn't like spoiler alert, but movie's 30 years old. But like he's being like mind controlled almost
Yeah.
by another lady. And so I didn't
Hmm.
put that together. I just thought like I just took it for what it was. Like this is just a monster, a headless horseman
Yeah.
that's just running
Okay.
around chopping people. And I was like, hoping and expecting the story to, my thought
Confirm that.
was this was a hokey, this town is built on an ancient graveyard and he's looking for his grandma or like
Hmm.
that's where I thought the headless
Oh,
horseman
okay.
thing was
Okay.
going. I was wrong, obviously, but at that
Hmm.
point I knew that's where I thought it was going until that happened and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I understand he's the main character, so maybe there's some, plot armor there. But it was
Right.
like I just feel like this is an inside job now. It feels less supernatural now that they felt very intentional that they let him be
Got you.
in that spot. So what you got
Okay.
for Act Two, man?
Um. Yeah, just realized I forgot to answer your question from earlier, where you asked me, is it the town? Was it supposed to be the town people were crazy, or he was just a skeptic? Um. I think. I think the town people were supposed to be like normal people.
Yeah,
And he was just a skeptic. But I like that they showed why he was a skeptic because they kept doing the dream sequences where it was his mother and his mom practiced witchcraft, but she was a good witch, and it's some I don't know if that was his father or not, but someone saw her practicing witchcraft and killed her for it. Um,
the dream sequences being so modern threw me off. I was like,
okay.
okay, is this like some The Village shit where they're not actually in 1799 and you
Oh.
walk to the highway and it's modern day? But yeah, I don't really. Did he ever give a reason for that direction there? Why were the dream sequences so much farther
Um,
along in the timeline?
no, I never even thought to look that up, to be honest with you. I would imagine because it's obviously he had a traumatic childhood, but before
Yeah,
she died, he had a good childhood. So I'm assuming that was him looking at his childhood with rose-colored glasses,
fair enough.
something like that. Um,
Yeah, because the dreams look like 1955, not
yeah, they do. They kind of
1799.
do.
I was like, okay, so maybe this is because I'm trying to. This is the first view, and I'm trying to really
Right.
piece together what I can.
Yeah.
And so that threw me off for a little bit.
Okay.
Also,
Okay.
houses were really small in 1799.
They really were.
You know, as a society, we've gotten a lot
We've come
richer
a
since
long
then.
way from an architectural standpoint.
I was listening to a podcast about basically it's like how things work, and the
Oh
guy
yeah,
was
okay.
like, um, first he was explaining, how we get energy and how we get water and how that's like, in food and stuff like that. But he's like, people don't
Yeah.
understand that the average person today lives better than like the kings back then. And the example he
Hmm.
used was like Calvin Coolidge, president of the United States, 100 some years ago. His
Right.
son went and played tennis and stubbed his toe, scabbed over, got an infection, died of sepsis.
Holy
He
shit.
was like, today you'd have just gotten some ibuprofen and some antibiotics and been fine. So
Yeah.
like you get better healthcare today as a postal worker than the president of the United States got 100 years
Yeah.
ago. So
No, that's
I
real
don't know.
shit.
Yeah, I don't even know how we got there. But houses were
Yeah,
really small back then is how we got
that's
there.
true. Did you see that that viral tweet where it was like, imagine blowing your ACL in like 1850?
Yeah.
They
Did you
probably
see
thought you
Bernard
died.
King's knee?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what made me think of it too. Yeah, that shit was crazy. And he was the first guy to ever come back from an ACL, which I did not realize. A legend in many
Well
fronts.
he put the uniform on again. He never came back.
Yeah, true. He was out there just getting cardio.
Oh man. Yeah, it's kind of wild that a torn ACL used to do that. But now it's just
Yeah.
like people look at it like you do a little 6, 7 month bid and you back,
Hmm.
which is not always the case, but it's often the
That is
case.
true. Adrian
Um,
Peterson kind of fucked up people's perceptions of how devastating that injury is.
get well soon, Juju Watson. Get well soon, Kyrie
Yeah.
Irving.
Yes. Um. Oh yeah, I was gonna say I really like one thing I liked about this movie in terms of the storytelling was the callback to the Salem witch trials
Yeah,
with like what happened to his mom and him being so skeptical of Katrina when she had like the little spell book and all that. I thought that was really cool storytelling because you know it was about 100 years from the time in the movie,
yeah.
but again, that's two generations, so that would have been his grandparent. He would have heard that story from his great grandparents, like don't be doing witch shit because they'll kill you, pretty much, probably. So,
Also, there was just a lot less entertainment and things to do back then, so
hmm,
stories just stayed around.
got bigger.
Like,
Yeah, yeah,
it's like
that was TV back
the
then,
quality of life and standards of living did not change much from 1799 to 1899, and so a
right,
book or a story or a wives' tale, like they couldn't watch a Netflix movie, so it was like,
right,
just tell that story again. Like,
right.
fuck it. All right, what else you got for Act Two?
Um. Okay, yeah. So I know you mentioned where you realized that someone was controlling um the Headless Horseman when he just stabbed the fuck, was he the notary? Oh, not the notary, whatever position he held,
I,
the fat guy. And
that's one of my
and then
gripes with this is that everyone else is just nameless and faceless except for
yeah,
Johnny Depp.
that is
So,
true.
I
This
don't.
movie
Go ahead.
this movie was very much like a Johnny Depp vehicle.
Yeah, like they were like NPCs in the everyone else,
Yeah.
but so I don't know who the hell he was because they were all the same people.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say the only other characters I really, really remember is Katrina, and the little kid that helped him the whole time because he was just by his side the whole movie. Um, I think that's all I have for Act Two. But well, I'll go ahead and ask you what I was going to ask you for Act Three then.
All
So,
right, go ahead.
if say you were a writer
Okay.
on this movie, what would you have changed in the script to make it more audience friendly, or just in general, like what specifically would you have done creatively different from this movie?
Um, I would have written a B plot
Hmm.
and used that as a way to world build for the viewer. And
Hmm.
so I don't know what maybe. So plot A is the headless horseman cutting everybody's heads off.
Yeah.
You know, movie was an hour and 45 minutes long. Maybe plot B gives no plot B is some crazy lady in the attic who I don't fucking know. But like I would have
Hmm.
written something plot B and given it would have served two purposes. It would have given another character something to do to give the viewer something to contrast with Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
And it also would have served as a way to world build for the viewer to just
Got you.
hold their hand. I don't want my hand held the whole time, but just
Hmm.
there was very little world building in it. And I understand why they didn't, but
Yeah.
that's oftentimes the B plot is to hold the viewer's hand a little bit. Like the A plot
Hmm.
is, it's what
Why
you're
you go to
supposed
see
to
the movie?
follow. And the B plot is
Yeah.
like your vegetables that you sneak into the like how you got to give your dog its medicine,
Right.
so
The
you put it
medicine
in a
and the
steak.
candy.
And
Yeah.
so like
Yeah.
the B plot is usually some vegetables, and that's how you sneak
Hmm.
into to the viewer,
Hmm.
So that's what I would have done.
Okay. Okay. Um, I mean, I'm trying to think. I think that's all I got for Act
We just go to
Two, I
Act
want to
Three,
say.
and if throw
Yeah.
it in
Yeah.
there.
That's all I got for Act Two.
Act three, we're going to call the reckoning. Crane identifies a person controlling the horseman's murders, leading to a climactic chase. He must defeat the villain and restore the ghost to its resting place to save the town and Katrina. Kind of gave this away in the earlier segment, but I would have
Hmm.
found the movie a bit more compelling if they had more characters and the other characters had something to do.
Yeah.
Um, but like by the end, I didn't actually care who did it.
Yeah.
So it was like. I
That's
kind
funny.
of like even after it was explained to me who did it, I don't really okay, all right. A lady that was there did it. It was like, did they explain do you know why she did it?
Yeah, basically, so remember they went back to that cabin in the woods that
Yeah.
Katrina and her father used to live in,
Yeah.
and there was the archer on the fireplace, the symbol.
Okay.
So back then every family had a crest. So
Okay.
that was this evil stepmom. That was her family's crest. That was their home, and they basically got evicted so that they could give the home to Katrina and her father when they were younger and poorer. I think that's pretty much basically she had a resentment pretty much ever since then for them. And
Okay.
then she just happened to kind of grow up and be a witch, and she was attractive, so she used that to basically get in good with the family, kill the wife, take over as a new stepmom, and then the will was rewritten
I
to
didn't. Okay.
uh yeah, so the will was when the will was adjusted, everything would have was going to go to Katrina's dad, but because of the channels that it had to go through because of the baby with the widow from the other guy, she had to kill everybody off she basically had to have a hit list to get everybody off so she could get the inheritance pretty much and her
Fair enough.
revenge.
Clear as mud. What else you got for Act Three?
It's just so many characters I can't even name their names to make the story make sense.
It's a bit
um,
cumbersome, but we got there.
yeah, if this is a regular movie, I promise, guys, I would be able to name the names of the characters.
No, I mean, look,
Um,
these people know us by now.
yeah,
If they're new to us, they'll learn. We're transparent here. If
yeah,
it's hard to follow, we're not gonna pretend it
yeah,
wasn't. It's a good movie.
correct.
Just
It's a fun movie. I
it's
love
not a
watching this movie.
good first watch. Like you need to that
Yeah,
first
this is
time.
not
It's
a
We said this when we review Memento. Let that first one wash over you.
yeah, just throw
Just
that in the
don't
trash.
try to just put your eyes on it, put your phone away, let it wash over you.
Yes, throw
The
your
second
phone
one is the
outside.
real one.
Correct. This is what I'd call this is not a tweet or text movie, you know?
No, not a second screen movie.
No, not at all. I will say, to me, one of the hallmarks of a really good horror film is like the big like crowd scene, like where there's like the big angry mob or like the town hall meeting or whatever. So the church scene is always one of my favorites whenever I watch this movie because you kind of see like okay, because we have all these characters and they never really interact with each other because everything's in secret, so there are always all these back channels and backroom conversations. And then when you see everybody get together, you're like, oh, okay, this is the dynamic, this is the hierarchy. And then you kind of realize we thought Baltus was the bad guy, but he actually was getting played by his friends the whole time. And then shit just goes haywire.
I like it. I like it. Would you have preferred a supernatural or a supernatural or an explanation grounded in normal physics and reality? I won't,
Mm.
so I don't want to besmirch people who are
Um,
into supernatural things. So, supernatural
gotcha.
or grounded in the physics that we're aware of.
Okay. I think because I view it as a Halloween movie, so for a
Yeah.
Halloween movie, I prefer it with a supernatural. But I think it could have been a really cool, excuse me, like plot twist or storyline and character development if they were to show like this person hired this person to just kill people, or they had something on this person and they just had to make them kill people to cover up whatever crazy secret would drive you to kill people to keep from being revealed, something like that. I think that could have been really cool. Um, I think I think one thing I also probably would have done as a screenwriter on this movie, one tweak I would have made was I would have opened the movie with the murder scene, just like they did, because it builds intrigue and it's interesting and it was a different tone for that kind of movie. And then I would have done like, okay, a month earlier, something like that, and I would have shown like a day in the life of the town where shit was all good.
Yeah.
And then I'd cut to New York with Ichabod.
To answer your question earlier, I would have tied in the Salem stuff, using
Hmm
a B plot is like, some lady is accused of being a witch, and
hmm
in her defending herself not being a witch, she does a little world building. And so,
Okay.
off the top of my head, I know that sounds clumsy, but obviously, if I had the time to screenwrite it, I could polish it and make it flow.
Right.
But that's kind of off the top of my head, I would have done that and use
Yeah.
that, as a way to, in the movie we reviewed last week, like Nick and Nora,
hmm
like I didn't even like that B plot, but you can see the world building within it, where she's just
Right.
like they're in chasing her, they're talking to each other, and they're
Correct.
explaining, oh, this is how I know that that band is da 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 da. This is how I know
Yeah.
that he's plays bass. This, like it's just there's ways you
Yeah.
can do it. There's tricks you can do as a
I
writer
agree.
to to sneak the vegetables in. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I think I like your point about having like a a random character, a random citizen in the town be like a B plot character.
yeah,
Because they would be they're closely more closely relatable to us as a viewer who is not a part of this world. And before the uh Horseman was revived or whatever, um the town would have been normal. So a normal human would be like, what the fuck is going on? People would be moving out or fleeing or
right.
stuff like that.
Because as it stands, it's like this Johnny Depp showed up and then the world created. Like it's not
Hmm
like, it's all like it almost felt like no one talked to each other off screen. They're just all
Right.
there to interact with Johnny Depp. And
hmm
it's nothing's perfect. It was a good movie, but that we're here to
Yeah.
critique, and that's my critique. So
Okay, for sure.
what else you got for
Um
Act Three?
I so I will say like I go back and forth on this with this movie because the fact that we hardly ever see the wife
Yeah,
makes the twist that much more interesting when it's revealed that it's her. And then when you go back and watch it, you try to look for any tells like in her performance or and she shout out to the actress Miranda Richardson. She like doesn't really give anything away during. She just seems like very like just like a sweet housewife, until she's like a murderess. Um but I kind of wish we could have seen more of her. She would have had more scenes just to like have more familiarity with her to increase the shock even more.
yeah.
Um,
Well, that's to me, that's like an, a novice's idea of a good plot twist.
mhm,
Uh, a good plot twist, it's cheap. A good plot twist upon second viewing is obvious to the viewer.
right,
But it's like it's shocking the first viewing, but upon the second
mhm,
viewing, you can see the seeds being laid. If there's no
right,
seeds laid, it feels like you just picked a random person and said they did it, and you just flipped them.
right, right, right.
And
Exactly. Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah,
just like no
yeah.
good writing and a good plot twist is almost like a double-sided belt. Like
hmm
it's a shocker, and also the crumbs were there. The shock was in your face. It's like the Sixth Sense. When you rewatch it, you can see that no one's talking to him, but you
Right.
don't notice that the first watch. It's just
hmm
that's a good shock to it, plot twist. And then in Night,
Correct.
Shyamalan didn't get another one, but
Ever again.
one hit wonder with 12 shots at it. But yeah, I mean, yeah,
That's a good point. Yeah.
if you rewatch it and it's still not there and it's still crumbs, then it just feels like you
hmm
picked a random person and said they did it.
Right. Like I even like so remember their servant girl was like hooking up with one of the older guys that was in the plot in the conspiracy.
Yeah,
I think like it would have been cool to have show more of her relationship with the wife because they probably would have been working closely together because you got the housewife with the servant. I'm sure they were cool. They
right.
both in the house all day, whatever. And then like that would have made like her killing her more shocking and more ruthless. And it would have been like, okay, that's how she was able to know about the affair she was having with old dude and how she was like it never really sh they never really showed just how she came to know everything about everybody in this town.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Like none of these murders landed with me because I didn't care about any of these characters.
Right.
It's just like random heads
Yeah.
getting chopped off.
Yeah. It was just like,
Yeah,
oh man, that's sad, but all right, who
I
did
know I'm supposed
it?
to feel something, but I don't.
Yeah. Right.
So
The only one that really hurt was when the one with the little kid hiding in the
yeah,
basement.
yeah. That one was tough when she snatched them off the ground. That one was rough.
Yeah.
But are you ready to rate it, or you got anything else?
Um, yeah, this is more of a general question, I guess, about movies.
Sure.
So we obviously talk about a lot about like what we change in terms of like writing the movie, but I want to ask you from a creative aspect, would you rather be the writer of the movie or would you rather be the director?
I'd rather write. Um, uh, yeah, I'd rather write. Directing is, I mean, it's different, no shit, but
Yeah.
directing is more of a technical job than a creative job.
Mhm.
And if I'm going to be in the movie industry, I'd rather be on the creative side of things.
Mm.
They're both needed, but like,
Right.
you know, and they're both kind of, writing is a technical job too. But
Yeah.
if it's, writing is 80% creative, 20% technical. And I would say directing is like a 60-40 split, 60%
Hmm.
technical, 40% creative. And, I'd just rather be on the creative side of things if I were in that role.
Okay.
So, how about you?
Um, I think I'd rather direct because you have the most control over what the audience actually sees.
Yeah.
Like the script can read one way and it can read a million ways to a million different actors and a million different directors, but you're in control of the tone and how it's actually supposed to come across to the audience. Um,
And you
I
get
also
final
like that,
edit. Final edit
yo,
is
so you
very
get final
important.
edit, as a writer and a tinkerer myself, like I'm like when I'm performing, sometimes there are times where I'm literally editing and writing up until they call my name on stage. So like the fact that you can have that same power as a director as opposed to being a writer, that I find that very appealing. Um, Also, I love I love writing obviously, so I appreciate the craft and have a special love of the craft. But as big a proponent of the visual and audio creative aspect of things. So I feel like that's a very all-encompassing creative outlet.
Fair enough. I am not a good writer, but I do prefer writing. So, what do you rate
I feel
it?
you. Um, so I always judge horror movies differently because the intent is very different than a regular movie. So I'm gonna give this one 3.5 stars.
2.5 from me. I enjoyed it. I watched it
Mhm.
twice. It is a good movie that needed a little bit, it just needed some vegetables. That's all. But it fed us the red meat. We got to see some people's heads get cut off in October.
Yep.
So we're here for.
Yes.
People about to learn real quick the movie reviewing next week has no vegetables. It's just candy. So
Yeah, we're just doing slasher shit next week.
yeah. All right. Thanks for listening. My name is Darius. That's D's all up in your area on all socials.
And I'm Jordan. That's Jordy B Writing on all socials.
Please rate, like, subscribe. We are at Out the Trunk Pod, Out the Trunk Pod on all socials. That's Out the Trunk Pod on all socials.
And for any ongoing movie any ongoing movie
It's
recommendations,
contagious.
feel free to reach out to us at outthetrunkpod@gmail.com. That's outthetrunkpod@gmail.com. That's a wrap. Thanks for coming to the movies with us. Come back next week. We're going to be reviewing You're Next.
All right, y'all.
Take care.